Welcome to the Arizona Wildcats show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. I'm Star Sports editor Ryan Finley, here with Daniel Burke. DB, let's talk about the NFL draft. It starts Thursday, but it's probably unrealistic to think that any Arizona Wildcats are going in the first round. The one guy who everybody seems to think will be drafted first among UA players is wide receiver Austin Hill. What does he bring to the table, and where do you see him going?
Yeah, you say first, he could be the only. Yeah. I mean, really, and you're looking probably at him getting involved in the draft on Saturday when you get to the later rounds. And yeah, I mean, I think he has the best chance of getting picked. I think he will be picked, but I don't think it's going to happen until the 6th or 7th round. I think it wouldn't surprise me if in the 7th round, maybe early, a team says, I don't want to battle other teams in free agency. Let's just get this guy now. But I think there's a lot of reasons for that with Austin, but he's a good football player. He'll get a chance, and it's either going to be as a late pick or as a priority free agent.
He's an interesting guy, I think. He was really lining up as sort of their featured receiver of the future. He tore his ACL. He came back. His role had really changed. I mean, he was essentially a run-blocking slot receiver last year, wasn't he?
Well, I would argue that. I thought Austin was real valuable to them last year. He played all three spots for them, which I think is something that will help him in terms of NFL personnel looking at him. He played a lot of tight end, not just slot. I mean, towards the end of the year, he was their tight end, and he was going out and he was catching him and he was helping block him, but he still lined up outside, and then he was effective in the slot. I think the biggest issue for Austin is just that they don't see the explosiveness, they don't see the speed, and that it may not have even been there when he was really good, in his breakout year in Rich Rod's first year. So I just think that's probably the biggest concern with him. But he's a tough guy. He can play all the different spots, but he doesn't offer that elite athleticism and speed that wide receivers normally do. I'm
going to lob up a completely loaded question for you here.
Exciting.
Is he a victim of their system? And here's why. Rich Rodriguez's system has made guys who don't necessarily have NFL talent look really good. I mean, B.J. Danker was really good at quarterback. Terrace Jones-Grigsby, for gosh sakes, looked pretty good at running back. Do people look at Austin Hill and say, Arizona, a system guy, can he play?
I don't think that's the issue, because next year I don't think that's going to be an issue with Caleb Jones. Teams are going to really like Caleb Jones, and they'll pick him. And I think for Austin Hill, the thing to remember too is, if Rich Rod had things rolling and he was recruiting like he is now, Austin Hill would have just been a complimentary player in 2012. And he was the go-to guy because he had to be, because he was the only one. So I don't know if it's so much as a system thing, like when you look at the quarterbacks. I think they have some wide receivers on their team now that are going to play in the NFL. Caleb Jones, Samaje Grant, I think will be an NFL guy.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Arizona Wildcats show, brought to you by Fry's Food Stores. For Daniel Burke, are you a system reporter?
Sure.
Okay. I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.
Try this matchup. Low prices and faster checkout. You can count on it at Fry's.